The date is May 25th, 2023, and FNaF fans probably just had the best week of their life. The FNaF movie teaser trailer released, and the trailer for the FNaF Security Breach Ruin DLC also released, and suddenly, out of nowhere, a brand new FNaF game trailer drops, and it's being a sequel to FNaF VR Help Wanted. After the Ruin DLC and the FNaF movie release, we honestly didn't have much information about the game. All we had was some images of the game and the PAX West demo in 2023. Until, out of nowhere, we got another gameplay trailer in November, showing off a bunch of brand new and fun levels. December 14th, 2023, FNaF VR Help Wanted 2 released in a playable state, unlike Security Breach, and had next to none glitches and no delays at all. I was so excited for this game since I loved the very first Help Wanted, so I woke up at 5 AM just to watch playthroughs of the game, and it looked amazing from what I saw, and it actually made me buy a PS5 plus a PSVR 2 just to play this amazing game. Hello everybody and welcome to my review of FNaF Help Wanted 2. I'll be splitting this review into sections, first talking about characters, returning and new characters, minigames, and then story and endings. Help Wanted 2 has tons of characters in the game, so I'm just going to be talking about a couple interesting ones and all the new ones as well. I'll start with this location, then continue until Security Breach. First, we'll start with Ballora, who was first to be teased in the trailer from May, and was missed out in the original Help Wanted. Both her and her Minarinas appear in Ballora Gallery, and at the private room. Ballora Gallery is honestly the scariest level in the game for me because of how close Ballora gets to you, and it feels like she's almost going to kick you in the head, and also you actually have to crawl for the level, which makes it even more terrifying and realistic. Circus Baby is also back in this game with her job interview level in the private room, which is very cool to see since we pretty much never see Circus Baby active in this location. We only see her on night 5 and that's just an empty shell, so it's cool seeing her move around in the private room area and actually speaking to us in the original Circus Baby voice. Now to a character I was not expecting at all in the slightest, Funtime Chica. It was a big surprise seeing her since she hasn't been seen since Ultimate Custom Night all the way back in 2018, and now she finally has a jump scare as well. Her mechanic in Funtime Gang is interesting as you have to move a cupcake around to lure her to each side of the room. She also looks very pissed off when you don't give her the cupcake. I was excited to see her because Funtime Chica is honestly one of my favorite characters. She's been one of my favorites since like 2019, 2018, so I was really glad to see her again. The next character is Scrap Baby from Pizzeria Simulator. In my opinion, she's one of the scariest but coolest designs in the FNaF series, so it was cool seeing her return in VR. In a similar gameplay area as FNaF 6, where she'll enter your medical station through either the vents or the curtain in your room, whenever you are giving help to be first aid or being the absolute shit out of him with a hammer. Scrap Baby also has one of the sickest jump scares in the game, with her grabbing you and using a claw to kill you, which is a very cool idea. I wish we saw that in Pizzeria Simulator. Help Wanted 2 players are divided into two groups, those being who actually try to help Helpy, and those who want to destroy every single bone in his body. Aside from that, Helpy is one of the goofiest characters in the game, where if you hurt him or eat his candy, he starts crying and screaming, luring an animatronic to your room. He's also kind of the mascot of Fazbear Entertainment at this point, with him being on the projector in the main hub telling you to play the minigames. Yendo also makes an appearance after being gone for 8 years since his location Custom Night back in December 2016, and it's just a reskin of Funtime Freddy's break room level, but this did make me like Yendo a bit more, because of how angry he looks when you send him back with your megaphone. Lefty also makes an appearance in this game, which is good to see since he was rejected from FNaF AR, which is now pretty much going downhill and is being shut down. Aside from that, he hasn't been seen since Ultimate Custom Night back in 2018. This time though, it doesn't seem like the public is trapped inside anymore. That's probably because Fazbear Entertainment has probably taken it out because this game is most likely just a training tape for employees of Fazbear Entertainment. It is still cool to see Lefty again in a new game. The final returning character I'll talk about is Glamrock Chica, who was given much more personality than she had in Security Breach while still acting like a robot, unlike Roxanne Wolf, who doesn't feel like a robot in the slightest and is not scary at all. In my opinion, animatronics who have personality are just not scary at all. Like, it's not really scary if you're being chased by a wolf, a robot wolf that has self-esteem issues. Like, that's not scary in the slightest, bro. But that could be a separate video on its own that I can make in the future, to be honest. Chica mainly appears in the food prep levels, where you have to serve her food, and while cooking, she'll sound more annoyed and impatient while waiting for a meal. Finally, to 3 new characters of this game. 2 of them are literally just recolors of older characters. The first is in the main Pizzeria Simulator hub of the game, Mr. Hippo, who honestly doesn't do much unless you're playing with a PlayStation VR 2, which a minigame is exclusive to. The minigame consists of using the PSVR 2's eye tracking to pick a card and she'll have to guess it. She also gives you some hints on where the 6 memory plushies are, which will help you with one of the endings of the game. Next we have Jacko Moon, who appears on Foxy's log flume ride. That is if you hit all the Helpy cutouts, and he will spawn in and you'll have to face off against him. He's pretty much just a recolor of Sun, but now with the same color scheme as the Jacko animatronics. He's also mixed in with some scarecrow patches on his pants and stuff, but that's about it for him. Our last new character is Connie, who is actually pretty interesting, being likely related to the Fall Fest of 83 from Curse of Dreadbear. He's literally just a recolor of Lefty, but with a carnival vest and brown fur, but he talks a lot during the Faz Blast minigame. It's also pretty funny when he gets lit on fire at the end of the FNaF 2 minigame. He's probably my favorite of the 3 new characters, just because he's got a lot of lore implications for the past of Fazbear Entertainment. Now let's move on to the minigames. So I'll go through each folder, being Staff Only, Fazcade, Backstage, Food Prep, Ticket Booth, and Sis Location. Help Wanted 2 brings a lot more unique ideas and brand new ideas to the table, while the original Help Wanted was mostly remakes of older FNaF games such as FNaF 1, FNaF 2, FNaF 3, some of FNaF 4, and a little bit of Sis Location. 90% of Help Wanted 2 is completely brand new minigames, and the other 10% is remakes of Sis Location. The levels in Backstage all take place in the Pizzaplex and have 2 types of minigames: Arts and Crafts in the daycare with the daycare attendant, Sun and Moon, and Makeup Fashion with the Staff Bots and Roxy. These levels are very stressful, with where you are on a time limit for most of them, and these were pretty okay in my opinion. Not my favorite levels of the whole game, but not the worst. Next we have the Fazcade, which are mostly arcade machines and attractions around the Pizzaplex. There are 4 types of minigames in this collection here. Bonnie Bowl, which is a very fun minigame where you play bowling in Bonnie's special bowling alley. But that Gobble Gobble achievement was a nightmare to get. That took me so long, where you have to bowl a turkey, which is 3 strikes in a row, and that was not fun at all. The DJ Music Man lessons, which are pretty fun, but get pretty stressful later on with the pro levels and the mini Music Mans around. Pretty much you have to make a song for DJ Music Man, of course, and you have to get it perfect, or you die, obviously. Bongobon is one of my favorites in the whole game because it's very fun, but it's also the most physical, demanding game because you have to move a lot. You have to work every single bonbon, work every single plush baby, every single bonnet, and you move a ton. I ended up hitting my roof one time when playing Bongobon, so beware of your surroundings when you're playing it. And also you have to watch out for the Helpies as well. If you hit too many Helpies, you die by the plush babies. Finally, there's Fazablast, which is in a carnival with Connie, and you have to shoot through 5 different shooting galleries, those being a Western theme, a space theme, like the original Fazablast, FNaF 1, FNaF 2, and FNaF 3, which FNaF 3 is unlocked later on if you use some secrets. Food prep is one of my favorite categories in the game. You have to work in the Mega Pizzaplex serving Staff Bots and then later serving Glamrock Chica, which is very stressful but also very fun just to serve food and get everything prepared. These minigames are very fun and enjoyable to play. The Ticket Booth only includes 2 types of levels, those being the Carousel of Moon and Captain Foxy's Log Flume. Both of these levels are very fun, but also very easy, especially the Captain Foxy's Log Flume. That was a very fun level, in my opinion, one of my favorites throughout the whole game. And the Carousel is just extremely easy, very easy. I've never died playing it. Also very fun as well. Very scary, very fun. These next 2 categories are some of the scariest levels in the game in my opinion. So Staff Only includes some of the scary levels, such as one of my favorites, Helpy First Aid, which is very fun and nerve-wracking, trying to balance keeping Helpy quiet and also doing the medical tasks on him. So you have to balance holding the mask, the gas mask, at the same time while holding the saw, trying to cut off his leg, and trying not to get killed. And then there's a Glamrock Freeze level, which was one of my first levels in the game, and it was pretty scary since it was my first time in virtual reality, so of course it's going to be very terrifying. It's a very fun level though, and very enjoyable to play. The Endo Warehouse is also one of the scariest levels in the game, especially if there's Endos lurking in the darkness, and you also have to balance doing the memory card game and also holding the Faz cam at the same time. Next are the Fizzy Faz night levels, which are kind of boring in my opinion. Not bad, but compared to the others, they were not that good, since they're very difficult. Not as difficult, but annoying. Sometimes it's pretty much luck-based half time, because it depends on how fast your workers go, or if just one of the staff bots wants to be very pissed off and come to your office and shut the whole thing down. But those levels aren't really the best in my opinion. I died a lot of times in Fizzy Faz Night 5, so not really a big fan of those ones. But the rest of them are very good. One of my favorite categories in the game. Sister Location is the final folder of minigames in Help Wanted 2. 50% of it is remakes of the night tasks from Sister Location, being Below a Gallery, in the Break Room from Night 2, and the Anti-Private Room. Thank God they didn't do the Springlock Sister Location level from Night 4. I hate that level so much. I'm glad they didn't do that. But I love Sister Location overall, so it was fun seeing some of these creepy levels in the game. And I also really enjoyed them as well. Like, Funtime Freddy's Break Room was very fun. I enjoyed it a lot. The other 50% of them are private room, custom night type of levels, being one of Ballora, Mini Arenas, and the Biddy Babs in like the private room office. The next being Funtime Gang with Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, Funtime Chica, and Bon Bon. One of my favorite levels in the game. I enjoyed this one a lot, like balancing, watching Funtime Foxy, moving the cupcake for Funtime Chica, and like clicking the buttons for Bon Bon and Funtime Freddy. And the final night is very interesting, being a job interview with Circus Baby, and the room is completely dark, unlike the other two levels. Completely dark, like you need your flashlight for this. So in this night, you have to fend off the plush babies with a red light, green light style minigame, hide and seek, and on the monitors as well, we have to shock them. And if you do everything correctly, Circus Baby will give you an ice cream at the end, so that's pretty epic. These minigames are some of my favorite in the whole game, and were very fun to play since I love Sister Location a lot. Sister Location was actually my first FNaF game I ever played back in 2017, so it's fun to see more Sister Location representation in VR. So that's it with all the minigames in Help Wanted 2, now let's move on to the story. The story of Help Wanted 2 is kind of vague, especially with the endings. Throughout the game, you are a Fazbear technician, and by completing all these minigames, you collect these Faz Force action figures. And after collecting them all and putting them on the pedestal at the front of the stage, you unlock the very first ending, where Glitchup's hand reaches out of a recharge station, and you are surrounded by Nightmare staff bots. Then you are in the perspective of Maskbot giving the Vanny mask to Cassie, just like the start of Ruin. This ending is very confusing on how we become Maskbot and what Glitchup is doing here, so I'm going to leave that to MatPat if he wants to figure that out. The second ending involves collecting 6 memory plushies, which Mystic Hippo does give us some ideas of where they could be. And these memory plushies are of the 6 missing children, so Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Golden Freddy, and the Puppet. After you do this, you unlock Princess Quest 4 and get to play it in VR, which is very cool. At the end of the minigame, you are inside of a claw machine with a giant Vanny looking at you from outside, and you give Moon a Glitchtrap plushie, just like the one from Help Wanted, and he gives it to Vanny, and then Vanny crushes Glitchtrap, presumably killing Glitchtrap once and for all. To be honest, both of these endings are just very confusing. I'm not going to go too much into theorizing because I don't want to dissect both endings and go through the entire lore of the newer FNaF series, because that would be very confusing and I don't want to really edit all that. If I were to change a few things about Help Wanted 2, it would mainly be the title, and I would get rid of Roxy on the title screen because it's a bit out of place that she's there and she's the only Glamrock animatronic, and the rest of them are all the Funtime animatronics like Funtime Freddy, Funtime Chica, and Circus Baby. So what I'd do, I'd have all Funtime animatronics, so I'd have Funtime Freddy, Funtime Chica, Ballora instead of Roxanne, and then Circus Baby still being behind you. I think that will make more sense and just like look better, because Roxanne being there kind of looks out of place and I don't really like it that much. And the second thing I'd do is I'd have less security breach related levels and more pizza simulator levels. Like, mainly for Help Wanted 2, I was more excited for Pizzeria Simulator because Pizza Simulator is one of my favorite FNaF games. So I wish there was more levels in the game. So what I'd do is I'd add the like scrap animatronic salvage levels, like the one of Scrap Baby, Lefty, Molten Freddy, and Scrap Trap. I'd also add Scrap Trap and Molten Freddy into the game because they had not seen it at all in the whole game. So I wish they were in the game for at least one level. And also, the Pizza Simulator office section as well would be cool to have just as one office section, even if not many people like the Pizza Sim office. I still think it would be cool just to have one office section of Pizza Sim, and then a hard mode of that could be the ending where the whole place burns down. I think that would be a pretty good idea. But that's about it. I don't have anything else to really change about Help Wanted 2. So that was pretty much everything I have to say about Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted 2. Overall, the game had great characters, both new, old, and returning. And they also improved their models of the characters as well, like Circus Baby, Ened, Funtime Freddy, all had brand new models, like more higher poly models, since Help Wanted had some very low poly models, like Springtrap and Ened did not look good at all in my opinion. So I'm glad they improved their models from Help Wanted. Help Wanted 2 also had much better mini-games than Help Wanted 1. Since Help Wanted 1 is mostly remakes of older FNaF games, Help Wanted 2 has much more opportunity to make much better mini-games and also make more unique ones. But Help Wanted 1 also had a better story in my opinion. Help Wanted 2 very lacking in story and endings, like the endings of Help Wanted 2 were not very good in my opinion. Steel just doesn't do very well in endings, I'm pretty sure. Like, in my opinion, Steel endings are not that good. Like, Security Witch has some pretty bad endings. Ruin endings are very underwhelming. Help Wanted 2 endings are kind of underwhelming as well. But Help Wanted 1 has some very good endings and very creepy endings as well. Like, if you look into it, like, Pizza Party is very dark and disturbing. But I think Help Wanted 1 did better in the aspect of endings, but Help Wanted 2 definitely did better in the aspect of everything else. So Help Wanted 2 has become one of my favorite FNaF games of all time, just because it's so fun to play over and over again. Like, it has a lot of replayability to it. So if you have the chance to play Help Wanted 2 or are able to buy it, I definitely recommend it. It is one of the best FNaF games of all time, one of my favorites of course, and it was very fun to play. So if you ever have the chance to do it, I definitely recommend the game. I recommend it a ton. Like, I'd give this game probably a 9 out of 10 just because the ending's kind of lowered down a bit, but the game's definitely a 9 out of 10 in my opinion. So with that is going to be the end of my Help Wanted 2 review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye!